Okay, we got a Kubota L2501. We got an overheat condition. Went in and popped the hood. And appears we don't have any coolant. So we're going to go ahead and do a pressure test. Alright. I don't see anything leaking. On the radiator. No wet spot in there. No. Looks good over there. Let's check that pressure again. Might just be low on coolant. Yeah. I think so. From the cap. And it's holding. So, the radiator doesn't look to be the cleanest. I'm thinking it might have a clogged radiator. Clogged fins, all this dust. Hey, you're on internet video. Hope you don't mind. Yeah, well, not live. We'll go and upload it tomorrow. It'll probably take me 2 days to upload 8 gigs of data. Yeah, it takes a while. So you're holding pressure. I got, 14 pounds on it. It's not leaking anywhere that I can see offhand. You're low on coolant though.
I filled it up. Like last time I was here, it was full.
Okay, so that's your reservoir. Your actual radiator is low on coolant. Like I could stick my finger all the way as far as I can get it, and I don't feel any coolant. Okay.
That's not the coolant for the radiator.
Maybe just the reservoir then. Yeah, so this is your overflow that comes in here. Comes down into here. See that? So that's just your overflow.
Oh, I see.
Like that. So that's all it is.
Okay.
Is there a straw that goes in there or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Okay. So the way a radiator works, at least this style, is when it gets hot, there's a little spring in the cap here. It's for pressure relief. See, I can press that down like that.
That was here?
Yeah, that's in there. I got my cap on it right now. So when it gets hot, obviously heat, pressure, okay? And it's going to overflow into that bottle so that it doesn't blow up your radiator core, okay? Because it's just, it's weak metal. It's aluminum, right? They could pop it if it didn't have that. So it's going to go into there, right? So now when it cools, it does the reverse. It goes into a vacuum. All right, and it should be pulling it back in. So it sounds like maybe you might have a bad cap here, okay? For probably 10 bucks, I'd say it's worth putting a cap on. Assuming this hose isn't clogged with something. One thing I am looking at here is your radiator looks pretty dang clogged right there. It doesn't look that clean. So, like you can see right here, your transmission or hydraulic cooler here. See how it's all packed off with junk here?
Yeah.
It's not going to cool very well, okay? That's going to cause it to get hot. So what can happen is, gets clogged like that, it's going to cause an overheat condition, obviously because the air can't flow through it, okay? Yeah. Then it's going to lose your coolant into the bottle, right? Yeah. And if it loses enough, there's a secondary drain right there. That little hose coming off the side, it's just going to drip out, right? Yeah. Now you're losing coolant. It's going out of the system, okay? Then it goes into a vacuum, draws it back in, which in this case, I think there's a probability this cap, may not be They don't last forever. Let's put it like that. Okay, they're cheap. I'm sure there's a better way we could do it. In fact, they have different styles now too. So, yeah, basically, I think that may be what's going on here, just based on what I'm seeing. You got a lot of debris in there. You're out here mowing this big field. There's a lot of junk flowing in there. Radiators need to be blown out all the time. Okay.
How? Because when it overheated, like the first thing I did is refill this.
Yeah.
Take this out. Got an air compressor.
So you did blow it out?
Yeah, cleaned the screen.
Okay. Did you blow it from the back out, or did you blow it from the front in? Both. Okay. All right. You sure about that? All right.
I did both, but
You
you're
did? Okay.
saying better from the back, obviously.
Yeah, because it's coming in this way, you want to blow it out the opposite way. Otherwise, you're just impacting it further, okay? So, that's good, you did that. That is good, okay. So I think you need to do it more, okay? Do you have a pressure washer here?
Yep.
Okay. Use your widest tip so it's not so high pressure, because that can blow a hole in your radiator too. You be careful about it, you know, but yeah, clean it out. And if you can get it from the back going in, you know, that's part of just maintenance, you know, just part of owning a tractor, you know. You got to just, when it's getting dirty, you got to clean it out. It's like, I have 3 daughters and a wife. I got to clean out my vacuum cleaner every single week, okay? Shower drains all the time, you know.
I have one daughter and one.
Yeah, so you already know. You know what I mean? I mean, me personally, I'm like a hairless cat. I'm like Mr. Bigglesworth, you know. But you know, that's just who I am. I can't help that. But you know, yeah, dealing with that, you know, it's just maintenance. You know, it's part of owning a tractor, basically. So, let me go ahead and verify.
That's good to hear. Like when I open it up and it overheated, like I noticed those things. You know.
Yeah, that's good that you saw that. That's good. That's very good.
And then I filled this up.
Yeah.
And then
So filling this up isn't going to immediately fill that up. You need to do both, okay? So do you have coolant on you, or do I need to go get some?
There's some coolant at the barn.
Okay, why don't you go grab the coolant? You got the key also? Key's over here? I didn't see it over there. Oh, you keep it in your little keep box there. All right, sit on the seat there. All right, so I'll hang out here if you want to go grab some coolant, and then we'll top this thing off. If you got 2 gallons, that'd be great. That way we don't have to make 2 trips up the hill, you know. If you got it. If not, grab some water. Water's better than nothing. So, all right. If you got distilled water, that's even better. Or well water. So, yeah, we're still holding pressure there. 14 pounds. I don't think that's the issue. Really don't. Ah, snake. All right. Yep, I got tools. And more tools. Coolant is almost as nasty as grease. Can't feel sticky. Yuck. Just curious. Let's see. That'll work. See how empty it is. Well, hitting that first row, yeah, that's pretty dang empty. Totally dry. Well, it's not going to circulate if there's nothing in there to circulate, that's for sure. Alright, let's wait for Jeffrey. we go.
Look at the house full of women.
Huh?
Look at the house full of women.
Oh God, yeah, no kidding. Okay, can't use that. Don't mix coolant, ever. That's red coolant, so that's for Cummins. We need green coolant in this one.
Okay, so
Alright.
I mixed coolant.
Well, this is distilled water. So you don't want to use hose water or like city water because it's got chlorine in it and that's corrosive. Distilled water is fine. It's just going to dilute your coolant a little bit, but really what coolant is antifreeze. That's the green stuff. It's the propylene glycol in it, and it doesn't look like it's going to snow today. So
It's pretty cold in the morning.
I mean, it has lubricants in it and stuff, so
Yeah.
you know, we're not going to be anywhere near like, you know, -20 or anything.
But what's because I mixed the coolant because I had the green one in there and then I saw that empty.
Oh, so you've already added red in there? Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to do a coolant flush here soon and get that all cleaned out.
Okay.
You don't want to leave them mixed. They can gel up. Hopefully that's not what's going on here. Let's find out. Does this cap come off? See if this thing comes off of here. Yeah, let's get that off of there. It's going to take forever.
Is this where you drain it? Yeah?
There should be a little nipple on the bottom there. It's called a pepcock. Should be right underneath the radiator. Or you can just take off the bottom hose. Yeah, looks like it's pretty dang empty there.
Thirsty.
Cool. Cool.
Oh, so this is just the overflow from the spill that came through here.
Yeah. That's all that is. Are we full now? Yeah, okay, we're good and full. Okay, so let's put some in there too. Yeah, it's not going to circulate if it doesn't have anything to circulate, you know?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's just like the overflow, like buffer
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Thanks. Sometimes you need a third hand, huh? Okay, so just go to that full line there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave the cap off, fire it up, and I'm going to imagine that you probably have... Actually, I need you to sit in there because that's going to have a safety switch in the seat, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, go ahead and fire it up, and let's see what it does here. So once it warms up a little bit and the thermostat opens, it's probably going to circulate some air out of there, so we're going to have to add some more, I think. How long does it usually take to warm up? I'm waiting for a big air bubble to come out, pretty much. So it's going to overflow a little bit like this. That's just because the water pump's pushing against everything. That's pretty normal. Fluid level is either going to drop or it's going to pop out a big air bubble and some fluid, and then we'll have to top it back up. You know, just got to burp it. Your temp gauge does work, right? The temperature, it does work.
Yeah, that's how I noticed.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah, it's good. You keep an eye on that. Yeah. And I don't know if I told you last time too, if you ever have any questions, you guys are my customer, give me a call. You know,
Cool, yeah.
I'm glad to help. I'd rather save you thousands in repairs or hundreds or whatever it is, just by asking a simple question. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's no skin off my back. You know. Stuff like mixing coolants. You know. Yeah.
Right.
Is this okay to use in this machine? You know. Let me look it up for you. You know, or whatever. You know.
I mean, I'm so knowledge hungry. Like, I also don't want to call you, every
No.
day for like simple questions.
No, that's cool, dude. Hey, that's how you learn, bro.
Yeah,
That's how I learned, you know. I grew up around a bunch of old timers, and man, they taught me a lot, you know. And it's stuff we don't learn anymore, you know.
Right.
Most people don't know this stuff anymore, so that's how we propagate that knowledge, you know. You might be warming up a little bit now. And it's a good idea to always have a couple air filters on hand. How often do you check the air filter?
Every couple times when I use it.
Okay. So you bang it out and whatnot? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't blow it out.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll, first off, if you do blow it out from the inside out. But okay. Don't blow it out, knock it off. If it's dirty, it needs to be changed. And it's one of those things that's part of owning a tractor, especially when you're doing really dusty stuff like this. Yeah. Air filters are key. I mean, I change my air filter every 2, sometimes 3 oil changes.
Wow.
Yeah, I change mine very, very often because I do a lot of just driving on, and I'm not driving through dusty stuff, just somewhat, So
it was crazy how quickly the screen just was filled with this stuff.
Oh yeah, you got to be on top of it. Yeah, I'd definitely be washing out the fins on your radiator. Oh yeah.
All of this air,
Yep.
it was like a carpet.
It'll clog it up quick. I got a lot of tree customers, and they do the chipping, and they got to blow out the radiators every day sometimes. So. We'll notice it for sure if there's a big pocket in there. Yeah, she's starting to warm up now. Very slowly.
I'm glad.
Huh?
I'm glad because it was way too quick.
Yeah. Maybe we should have warmed it up without adding the water. No, no, bad idea. calendar for a coolant flush here soon, okay? If you want to do that, yeah. Definitely want to do that. Yeah, and that goes for any vehicle. Never ever mix the coolant colors. And if you're ever not sure what kind of coolant to get in there, call me. I got that software. I can look it up, like for a vehicle, for say. Most equipment is always going to be green. Your standard green, old school coolant. Most vehicles now, really all of them, like Asian. There's Asian green. Yeah, that's a fun one. You know, like why? You know, it's a slightly different hue of green. You know, it's like really. You know, there's Asian pink. There's Asian blue. There's orange. There's gold. There's Dex Cool for Chevys. It's orange, and it's different than the Chrysler orange.
Is there really a difference?
Yeah.
Like in performance?
Oh yeah. No, they're different chemical makeups. Oh, yeah. So there's organic acid technology, organic acid phosphate technology. There's there's a bunch of them, dude. There's GOAT. I forget what that one stands for. There's a few different kinds. It's pretty stupid. So like that's made for Cummins and stuff. That's the Cummins red. This is what you put inside of like a Mack truck. Yeah, there you go. So when I worked on the oil fields, that's the stuff we'd run in our rigs there.
So would it say green?
It'll say it'll be like your standard cheap green coolant that you'll see there, you know. And don't ever run universal coolant. Okay? They should put those people in jail. All right? Yeah. Don't ever mix coolants. Period. There's no such thing as universal coolant. The only universal coolant is distilled water, and even then you're diluting it a little bit. Like it's not just antifreeze that's in it. There's also some lubricants and stuff that keep your water pump in working order. You know, since we're going to do a coolant flush, the distilled water isn't that bad, you know what I mean? As long as we don't just leave a whole bunch of water in there, because water over time will still propagate rust, you know, and that's what you don't want that, you know.
And so like 100 years ago, tractors, did they already have used coolants, or did they use
it had always been green coolant. I mean, yeah, originally it was water, but then like I said, you get problems with rust, you know. Well water is second to distilled water because it still doesn't have chlorine, but it has minerals now. So, and you know what happens when you boil water? The minerals come out of solution. They cake up the inside of the radiator. It's a different set of problems, you know. But for temporary, to get you out of a pinch, you can keep working it. Yeah, distilled water will be all right. As long as I can get here in the next, couple weeks or something, I can get to you and do a coolant flush. I think I'm booked about a week out right now, so we'll look at that before I leave. So if you put your hand right here, you can feel the air going through it. That's good. But I would still, you want it as clean as it can be. You know what I mean?
Everything look like this.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Yeah, blow that out too. It's like you trying to run a mile and breathe through a straw. You know, you get a little woozy here. You know. So I got in trouble when I was a kid. My mom bought a brand new VCR, and like the very next day, dude, I tore that thing apart. I was like, I want to know how it works, you know? She comes home, whooped my ass, man.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Oh, yeah. That was back in the 80s, you know what I mean? I was like, a brand new Blu-ray player, you know? Man, I remember I was trying to put it back together before she got home, and I was like, you know? Little kid, man. Oh. Yeah, I had that one coming. Yeah, that looks like the petcock, yeah. So you pop that out and it'll just drain out. What I'll usually do is I'll take off the bottom radiator hose, and I put my shop vac on it and actually suck out all the fluid out of the block. That just drains the radiator and some of what's in the block. And then I like to do it where we're near a garden hose so I can actually flush it out with water. And then I'll switch my shop vac to blow, and then I blow out all that water, right, because it's got chlorine in it or whatever, you know, or well water. Get as much as we can out. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but it's better than having mixed coolants. And then from there we fill it up and do this whole process all over again. So, yeah. Yeah, last thing we want to do is just put the cap on. There's a big air bubble in the block, you know. And then I leave and you call me back, hey, it's overheating again, what the hell, you know. So, alright, it's moving up a little bit. So the thermostat, usually they're going to open around 180 degrees, something like that. Depends on which, you know, what the design is, but usually they're around 180. Some thermostats don't open until like 200, so. But this is a tractor, it's probably 180. That's more newer vehicles, they open at a higher range. Because they want the engine hotter so that it burns more of the fuel for emissions. That's why they do that. Yeah. Huh?
Does it burn cleaner that way? Or?
Cleaner? Oh, run cleaner? Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, you have a hotter combustion chamber, it's going to burn the fuel more efficiently. Yeah. So. So I was able to download the manual pretty easily for this. You might want to consider searching on your phone, just do some reading. Yeah, you know, educate yourself, like you're saying, you know. It's good just to read through it. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, and I still learn something new all the time, you know. So, you know, each piece of equipment or each vehicle, it's going to have its own idiosyncrasies that you're like, oh, wow, huh, you know. That's odd, you know. Okay. this is the workshop manual for this one here. Your thermostat valve opening temperature between 177 to 182. So there you go. And this, when it's fully open, is about 203.
That's the valve on the cap.
That's the actual thermostat.
Oh, yeah.
Thermostat is similar to the cap. It has a spring in it. It's made out of special alloy that reacts with heat. It'll expand or contract, you know, based on the temperature. And that actually opens up a valve in there and lets the coolant pass by. It's basically it's a block off plate in the hose. Kind of think of it like that. And it can't get through until it gets hot enough. Then that valve opens. Now it can get through.
And that is once it gets too hot. Once it gets boiling.
The cap runs off of pressure. So when it gets too hot, yes, that's the effect, is higher pressure, and then it lets it through. Typically, most caps are about, you know, anywhere from 12 to 15 psi, something like that. Most caps. Some are higher. Check the temperature again here. So even if we do get an air bubble to come through, that's not necessarily we got all the air out of the system. So let's say we get an air bubble through, we're going to fill it back up, cap it, run it, keep your eye on that temperature, okay? Obviously if it starts overheating, shut it off, let it cool down, and then take the cap off after it's good and cool, okay, to the touch, right? Like, feel around it, make sure it's cool, okay? Because, you know, it'll be under pressure, it'll blow hot coolant all over you, get a burn, you know, that's not good. That's what I'm worried about. Take that cap back off, fill it back up. Even if it doesn't overheat, let it cool down, you know, work it today or whatever, and then in the morning after it's good and cold, not cool, cold, take the cap back off and top it up again, because it'll probably drop a little bit. Because even if you get an air bubble through, there may be a few little air bubbles here and there that we're only going to get worked through the system by jostling it around and working it and revving it. So definitely, yeah, check it tomorrow. Check it the next day. After that, I think you're fine. If everything's working right still. When I come back to do the coolant flush, I'll do what's called a vacuum fill. I'll actually put it under a vacuum and suck the coolant out of the bottle with a hose. I have a special tool for that. Yeah, it's kind of a process. That's why we're not doing that right now. Normally, you don't have to do that with tractors, especially since the engine sits so much lower than the radiator. All the air is going to rise up. Whenever I do a flush, though, I still like to do that. You know, just to pretty make you sure, you know. Last thing I wanted is to call me back. Hey man, it's overheating. What the hell, you know?
Clients every day? Yeah? Oh,
I'm
cool.
very busy.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
Very busy. I have probably, if I were to guess offhand, probably like 15 clients just up here. They call me fairly often. I'm always up and down here. And I told you the farm across the street there, the owner, I don't remember, I think he did pass, I don't remember, but the owner anyway, he had kind of like a commune there, and there's a whole bunch of people that would go in and out.
Full circle?
Yeah, full circle, yeah. Really cool people there. And anyways, the ownership is like changing, and the guy's kids, they wanted to kick everybody out and do something different with it. So, I mean, I had like a whole handful of people just in that one residence or address right there. Because they all have little tiny homes all in there, you know. It's a pretty cool little setup. And I met one, and then another one's like, "Oh, can you look at my car?" Like, "Hey, can you look at my car? Hey, can you look at my car?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" You know, they're like, "Hey, we got a tractor over here." Oh, okay, cool. You know, one thing leads to another, so that's how it goes. And then, so there was one guy. He actually, I don't know if he's the dean or whatever, the principal at the school up here, right there by Seasar Road. He had an RV, and I did a bunch of work on the RV, and then like a year later, one of my other customers on this side over here, he calls me up and he's like, hey, I bought an RV. I looked at it, I was like, did you buy it from this guy? And he's like, yeah, I did. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Small world, man. I was like, yeah, I did the ignition on that one. Yeah. And then later on, he called me up and says, oh, hey, I want to sell it now. And about another year later, so I went and, you know, I facilitated the sale for that, brokered a sale for that, yeah. Now the new owner, now I might be doing some work for him on that thing, converting it, you know, and updating it and whatnot. So, yeah. So, like, wow, I'm going to follow that RV forever. I already know it, you know.
It's yours, actually. Pretty much.
I know, right? Yeah, I might as well just, you know, let me just sign on the title, you know. I told him, I was like, man, that'd be cool for me because it's got a working air conditioner in it and a restroom. Sometimes that's my biggest problem is I don't got anywhere to go to the bathroom, you know what I mean? I'm always on the road. A lot of people, their businesses now, they're like, oh, unless you're buying something, you can't use our bathroom, you know. But half the time I just got to buy something just so I can go to the bathroom, you know. I'm like, man. Or hold it, you know. So I was like, that'd be cool because I could gut it and build like a workshop, have my AC, my bathroom. You know, I could even heat up ramen there, you know. I got a little kitchen, you know.
Still have space for all your tools.
Yeah, you know, it's perfect, you know.
You could expand your radius.
Right? Body on it, you know, like kind of like an RV. It's got the whole big box on the back, you know. Nice. Big aluminum box too, so that's even nicer.
Yeah, and it's so cool, and you can work on it. You can do everything yourself.
Yeah. Labor's free to me. That's what I'll say.
That's so cool. Because for me, like when I think of those things, it's such a big investment, you know, because you're dependent on other people.
Now you got to pay somebody else to update it. Yeah. So for me, I've already got a working service truck. I can do it on my free time until I'm confident that, yeah, it's good to go out on calls now. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there, as I get the money to throw into it, you know what I mean, for parts and whatever it needs. And actually, I have 2 tires sitting in my 10-ply, brand new 10-ply tires. So if it needs tires, I'm going to bring those with me. And then all I got to do, I mean, I can't change tires. So even though I used to work at 2 different tire shops, I don't have the machines to do it, you know what I mean? Yeah. I could do it by hand, but man, that's a lot of work. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm good. But, you know, for what, $50, I'll have somebody mount a tire on it. If it needs a tire, I'll bring it with me. I'm just going to strap them to the roof rack. Lord knows I don't have any more room in this thing. You know? I don't think it's heating up any more than that. Pretty much staying right around there. I think we're good to go ahead and close it up. So even though I'm reading 170 out here, the internal temperature may be a little bit higher. Rather than waiting around for 5 hours, say run it, keep your eye on it, keep that with you, you know. See what it does. You know, I think you're good though. These Kubotas like to run a little cold anyway. I mean, they got, because they know it's a tractor and it's going to get worked hard, they have really good cooling systems. So.
Alright, so I'll run it, I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Once I'll let it cool down again, I'll refill it.
Yeah, and if it overheats, obviously stop the job and you can do what you got to do. If you have any questions, call me. Okay, I'll walk you through it. It's not a big deal for me, okay? Yeah, so, yeah.
I'm always self-conscious to bother people.
No, you know, I hear you too. I'm not the same way, man, but, you know, that just means that you're self-sufficient, you know, and that's a good thing. So, it's also good to know when you need help. That's one of the lessons I've had to learn, you know.
Oh man, same.
Back myself into a corner.
I do stuff myself for so long, you know, before I ask for help, and it's not
and unfortunately, sometimes that comes back to bite you in the butt, you know. Like, man, I should have asked for help. You know? It happens.